Hello and welcome to our final week of Buff Sports Live for this year. I'm Vinay Simlot. The football team is coming off a victory. The basketball team is just getting started. We could not be feeling any better here in Boulder. But first, we'll get started again with that Stanford game. The Buffs defeated the Stanford Cardinal 35-32 after a dominant first three quarters from the Buffs. Stanford almost made a comeback in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't enough, and the Buffs managed to pull off the win. Sam Neuer went for 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 running touchdowns, and an interception. Jarek Broussard again carried the offense with a second straight 100-yard game. It certainly wasn't a perfect game, especially in the fourth quarter where Colorado just attempted one pass. It didn't end up counting because of a holding penalty, but after the game, Karl Dorrell addressed the play calling at the end. It looks like we were having some technical difficulties playing that video for you. But basically what Karl Dorrell said is they're going to have to reevaluate how they call the plays towards the end of the game. Well, usually after an away game, we get two of our esteemed BSL analysts in studio to break down the game. But this year, because of COVID restrictions, we had to spout our hot takes over Zoom. So let's see if we've got our video system working again, and we'll get a edition of...
Welcome to Double Take. My name is Matthew Logan.
And I'm Zoe Paulson. Welcome.
And here we will be presenting our ideas and thoughts of last week's football game between CU football and Stanford football. Now, my general impression was that Neuer, our beloved quarterback, was not as nasty as he was against UCLA. However, he did put up some fairly impressive stats, but it took him a while to do that. After failing to convert on a few of the first opening drives and throwing interception, I will admit that I did become a little concerned along with Karl Dorrell. I'm a little concerned. I don't know how he's going to do against some other tougher competition.
I see your concern, Matt, but I think that this last weekend's challenge really gave me a lot of hope for Sam Neuer. I think he was looking just as nasty as ever. He went for 255 passing yards. He threw for 2 touchdowns and ran for 2 touchdowns. He converted 3 third down opportunities, and he just overall looked really good. I mean, toward the end, I'll agree, it kind of fell off a little bit, but as a whole, I think he's starting to become a really well-rounded leader of this team, and I think he could lead us to even more wins in the future.
Well, he's definitely had a much better debut to his collegiate career than I thought he was going to have. I thought this was going to be a experimental season or a season we throw away in the trash.
Plus, we've got another win, and we've only got...
Please record. And
one win is like 2 or 3.
That's true. Let's hope we finish out the rest of the schedule strong. We need Sam Neuer to be just as nasty. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's edition of Double Take. I'm Matthew Logan.
ESPN reported that multiple players on the ASU roster have tested positive for the coronavirus, including head coach Herm Edwards. Fans thought Colorado might be able to play CSU or Wyoming this week because both of their games are canceled. But athletic director Rick George released a statement saying Colorado will not play any non-conference games this weekend, and the Buffs will wait and see if any other teams have COVID issues that would leave another Pac-12 team without an opponent. Well, put away those notebooks, your textbooks, and your slide rules because it's time for this week's trivia question. You just heard about the Pac-12 canceling Colorado's football game against ASU. So this week we are asking you, when was the last time a Colorado football game was canceled? We'll have that answer for you later in the show. Well, we are just a week away from the start of basketball season. The men's and women's basketball teams will play games before we see another football game for the Buffs. Isn't that weird? Coming up after the break, we'll get a final look on that non-conference schedule. Stay with us.
And Mike and Q talent in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mic up on 2. All right, take 1. And fade camera 2. Take 3. Ready, red. Roll red. Take cam 1. Take red. Take it. Come on, roll red. Let's go. All right.
Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just calling the show.
There's no show.
Back now with a look at CU basketball. The women's basketball team is promising another big season, and some of the players on the roster are being recognized in the preseason polls. Here's Troy Finnegan.
The women's basketball team is poised for a bounce-back season this year behind their two stars, senior Maya Hollingshed and sophomore Jalen Sherrod. Hollingshed and Sherrod were both named preseason Pac-12 All-Conference Honorable Mention after posting strong 2019-2020 campaigns. Hollingshed returns after posting career highs last season in points, rebounds, and assists, with 3 double-doubles and 3 20-point scoring outputs. Sherrod is coming off a strong freshman season where she finished second on the team in scoring and led the Buffs with just over 5 assists per game. Sherrod started her Buff career strong, posting 11 assists in her debut last season. That's the most assists by a CU player in her first game since 1979. Both Hollingshed and Sherrod earned postseason honors for their efforts last season. Hollingshed was named Pac-12 All-Conference Honorable Mention, and Sherrod was named to the Pac-12 All-Freshman team. The Buffs will have a tough road through the Pac-12 this year, with perennial powerhouses like Oregon and Stanford bringing back strong rosters as usual. However, with two players as talented as Hollingshed and Sherrod, the Buffs will have a chance every time they take the floor. Like the men's team, the Buffs women will be looking to bounce back after a difficult end to the season a year ago. After their first 12-0 start since 2011, the Buffs faltered in Pac-12 play, losing 13 of their 18 conference games. Hollingshed, Sherrod, and head coach J.R. Payne are looking forward to a bounce-back season in 2020. Here's Vinay with a schedule breakdown.
Troy, women's hoops will hit the court in less than a week. The Buffs will play their first 3 non-conference games, starting with Western Colorado on November 25th. Air Force and Denver will be after that. CU will transition into a 22-game conference season with a double round-robin schedule to maintain some of the backup plans during the pandemic. Colorado's men's team will also start their season next week. They'll head to Kansas for the Little Apple Classic, playing South Dakota State and Kansas State. The Buffs will host CSU and UNC this season. They'll round out non-conference playing Omaha here in Boulder and then head to Las Vegas to play the Grand Canyon University. Well, Tyler Bay will move from the CU Events Center to the American Airlines Center. That's right, he's headed to Dallas to play for the Mavericks. The Philadelphia 76ers drafted CU's standout forward with the 36th overall pick on Wednesday night and then traded him to the Mavs. During his CU career, Bay was the Pac-12 Conference Player of the Year while earning all defensive team and all Pac-12 second team honors. Another forever Buff making noise in the pros is Laviska Shenault. The standout wide receiver in his first year with the Jacksonville Jaguars has caught 30 passes for 323 yards so far this season, and Viska sent a signed jersey to Colorado's offensive coordinator, Darren Cheverini, crediting Coach Chev for his success. On the jersey, Viska wrote, "You started my roller coaster. I appreciate you big time. You gave me a chance. You saw something, honestly, I didn't. Even though you killed me, you helped make someone almost unstoppable." Unstoppable indeed. We got that picture, by the way, from Coach Chev's Twitter. And we are showing no signs of stopping here at BSL. After a quick break, we'll check in with Rapid Fire.
They were nervous and inexperienced, as new faces looking to achieve greatness. As the years went on, they grew confident in their abilities.
Maybe. Yes, sir!
Now they look to guide others in the same pursuit.
There it is! Can you believe it?
All are welcome to be featured on the biggest stage.
Is it his time?
We invite you to discover what you are capable of at BuffSports Live.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Rapid Fire, a weekly segment where we tell you about what exciting sports are happening this upcoming week. And boy, do we got news for you. With CU now 2-0 on the season, they are currently looking to put a beat down on Arizona State. Let's see here. It looks like CU's original scheduled game against Arizona has been canceled due to COVID issues with the ASU program. Zooming out into the world of college sports, it looks like 13 other original games have also been canceled or postponed due to positive COVID tests. This will be the second straight week where double-digit games have been lost in college football. On a more uplifting note, men's basketball will begin their season at the Little Apple Classic against South Dakota on Wednesday at 6 p.m. and former Big 8/Big 12 rival Kansas State on Friday at 6:30 p.m. Women's basketball is also making a comeback, playing their first game at home against Western Colorado on Wednesday. In addition, they will also play the Air Force on Saturday the 28th before heading on down to Eugene to face Oregon. With everything going on, man, isn't it exciting to have sports back? I definitely think so. Back to you, Vinay.
Thank you. Now it's time for the answer to our trivia question. Remember, we asked you, when was the last time a Colorado football game was canceled? And the answer is 2013. CU football canceled the non-conference game against Fresno State because of the Boulder floods. Well, that's just dandy, folks. And you know, the Buffs were supposed to play Fresno State this year, too. Maybe playing them just isn't in the cards. We'll be right back.
Deserves a second look. Michael taking off, the patented tongue comes out. Just in front of that line. Look at this, the double clutch, the reach.
Pass in left wing, looks behind him, wide open, right wing, up top, open for three, fires.
Good basketball, Mark. Unselfish, smart basketball.
Open for three, fires, nothing but nylon from downtown. Good ball move by Colorado.
And finally, to our last story of the day. Usually at this point in our semester, we would tell you about our seniors that are leaving us. Well, this semester, that includes one very special 44th year senior. That's our faculty advisor, Steve Jones, who for 28 years now, on Friday afternoons when people are trying to get an early start to their weekends, he's been coming here to our studio to watch students do their best to put on a sports show. What we love most about Steve is his patience, his dedication, and his dry wit. Every time we walked into the studio, he would greet us with a huge smile. His feedback and critiques would always come with a side of humor. Instead of telling us our show was light, he would say, boy, that was a great radio show. Or instead of saying we should use a tripod, he would ask, did you shoot that in an earthquake? Steve, we would like for you to join me over here. I know you don't want to, but you have to. Steve will be retiring. Steve, come on. Steve, we're live. Steve will be retiring at the end of this semester, so that means today will be his final episode of Buff Sports Live. And to celebrate, we have a cupcake. We have some cupcakes here. Steve!
You have to come here.
Steve, we're waiting for you.
You have to come here. You have to blow out the cupcakes.
Have to choose one.
You have to. You don't want to fire it. You have to blow them out.
Steve really did not want to be on camera today.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, you got to blow them out.
Oh, I can't blow them out through the
Use your hands. COVID friendly.
How will that be?
Thank you, Steve. Steve, from all of us, behalf of all of your students, past and present, thank you so much for everything you have done for us. And even though Steve cringes every time I say this or write it in an email, we love you, Steve. We'll enjoy your retirement. And that's our show today from all of our crew. Thank you all for watching along with us. We will see you in January.